All right, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing well today. Hope everybody's having a good time as best they can, being sequestered where they are. Wow. They're doing this private nonsense to me again, where the video is not private. I would never make a private stream, ever. Wow. Wow.
Sam, I just want you to
We
know
just had
what
to
I
see.
want.
Well, I'm live right now. That's nonsense. That doesn't make any sense.
I just want you to know that's what it's gonna be like. You can live downstairs while I live upstairs. Take your shit and bring it down here.
So weird. Okay. All right. So we are live. Okay. I think it's going well now. All right. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling today? Hope you're having a good day. It's the best we can at 9:30 as the market opens. Okay, let's get into the Gus Fund and see what's happening. Well, I did say to get into SPXU, and the reason I said that is I saw hidden bullish divergence. Usually when you see hidden bullish divergence, and I go over it one more time for you guys, but divergences are key, something that the average trader doesn't see. What's up, Don Juan? What's up, Paula Receipts? How's everybody feeling today? So basically, the first thing I see here is we have a low and then another low, okay? But we have a low and a lower low here on the RSI. That tells me that this is going to go up. So that means yesterday was almost a blind buy for me, actually, because it was just obvious that this was going to go up. Yeah, I mean, 9 out of 10 times I trade on hidden bullish divergence. It's basically one of my best things. And also with the MACD cross coming, a retrace as well. Let's look at the retrace on a fib. I guarantee it also makes sense. You can just, these things start to fall into place. Okay, so I want to make sure I get a bottom and a top here. I'm not trying to see as much of the volume. It's messy there. Okay, here we go. So this is Fibonacci, right? And boom, past the 706 to the 786, which is through the golden pocket. So we also did a retrace, which is very healthy, right? Very healthy. And that's why I keep saying the Dow when everyone's like, why? Let's get into why I think. Also, if you haven't seen it, check out my video. If you haven't seen this video, it's definitely worth watching. Just to give you an idea of like why you're at my channel and what you're learning from me. If you go to videos, here I have a video, just proof one man predicted the stock market crash of 2020. All right, guys, I just want to show something that I've been working on for a long time. Videos, but this is the 9 January of 1999, okay? And I look at the Dow Jones. If this doesn't videos, but this is the video that is really where I call it. I was showing someone this the other day. If this doesn't kind of, so these are January 9th videos. If I go to the weekly here and I look at the Dow Jones, this is January of 1999. Okay, this was the .com bubble when the .com bubble burst. Should have put that up a little more. I don't know why I did. 32% of the Dow right here. Okay, even more. Then we reset. It was 2003, 2001, right, area, and we began to grow our economy again. And things started to balance up. And we had the manipulating, we had quantitative easing, and we had the Fed interest rates. And we raised up. And here is the worst financial collapse since the Depression, right? Technically, right? The '08 collapse. Boom. The Dow lost 56% of its value, okay? So here's the dot-com bubble. Here's the '08 crash. Here we are now. If that, and everyone said Bitcoin's going parabolic. When the chart of Bitcoin was like this, every analysis on CNBC or NSNBC or Bloomberg was saying, this is unrealistic, this is a bubble, you can't have this anymore. And now look what we have in the U.S. stock market. I mean, it's, if you don't see a vertical parabolic move here, it's insane. So you can just see what quantitative easing is doing right here. I'm breaking it down for you right here, crystal clear. 18. So to me, it's basically just very similar how I predicted or knew exactly pretty much what was going to happen here in America with the coronavirus. I just look at things for what they are exactly. Study them, understand them, and then project accordingly. God gave you a brain to reason. It's pretty, obvious to me. Even if you didn't know that much about financial markets, you just knew about just growth in the universe. Like things just, you can compare this to almost any system. Systems have to find balance. Everything has balance. What goes up must come down. It's just how it is. But here's where I eventually, this is January 27th. 28435. We never should have went to 29.3. I mean, it's like, again, watching this a lot. These lines in here, and what, boom, we didn't go that high. We went like that. And I'll tell you why. And look at the line, that point of no return. Let's look at it on a fib. Let's pull a fib retracement on the Dow weekly. Here's why I just pull a fib, just what I just did here. Where it's going to go on the January 27th. So here we can see a clean bottom. Approaching 2 months ago. Draw a fib from this bottom. Over 2 months ago now. We're just going to see where we could go on a likely retracement. Normally, stocks retrace what's called 61%, 61.8% actually. And that's why they use the 61.8% Fibonacci level as a nice, what's called golden pocket. See this pocket here? So that could mean that the Dow could return back. And this would be completely healthy to here, to 618, which putting the Dow at 15,000, guys. It's almost cutting it in half. That was worse than these marks here, right? Here's the dot-com bubble, Dow at 10,048. So there you can clearly see, and it's just very similar how I just played this. So what I'm using is very basic tools for a trader too. This is RSI, MACD, volume, price action, and moving averages, Fibonacci's, and then also divergences. I guess it is a little more complex when I break it down on all those different things, but it's things that can be easily figured out within a couple months of constant studying them. It's not like it takes years. It takes years to handle your emotions. That's what the problem is out here, is the emotional part of trading, the want, the FOMOing, the think you're going to miss it, all those thoughts. And you got to remember that there's always another trade. That's what I keep telling myself. And I have to tell myself these things almost every day. So it's not like it comes completely natural. It's a constant move. Now, Bitcoin taking a little bit of a tank, see, down with the market. As the market goes down 600 points, Bitcoin dropping. Let's get into Bitcoin. Let's talk. So, and you can see the topic is why I predict the Dow will hit 10,000. Well, I just think we have so much downside coming. I think this is just the beginning of this bearish move. Also, we're below all the moving averages now, as you can see on the 4 hour, even on the daily. So that's also a very bearish sign. Whenever, we couldn't look, we hit the moving 21-day moving average, we were just rejected, completely rejected. And I told you this line of 21.8, that is the line in the sand. You can see why is here we had a strong support. We bounced off it here. So it's shown already twice in this. And if it only, because this is such a daily chart on the Dow, right? So many moves. Like here, look at this. Look at 1589. Very strong support there at 15. We came up, hit this line here at 13. So there's resistance there, those old resistance. That could become new support. So you're just looking back at other places here, this line here, which is at 11,000. And if we break, so you almost can see, if we break 11,000, we have one move to 8, and then we could go to 6,800. So 6,800 is the bottom. I'm not calling. I think it's possible that we do see a $6,800 Dow. I don't know why people don't think that's possible, but I do. Yeah. And I didn't read any of these things, but let's just see if there's any big traders. Now, this guy's outspoken Wall Street bond whiz says the stock market is acting dysfunctional and may hit rock bottom once we take out March's low. Ooh. This guy's on the crypto lifer train here. Jeffrey, I've seen him many times. I've watched him many times. He has this weird fish mouth, kind of really strange. He has this underlining lip thing. Very weird to watch him talk. You can see it's kind of whatever. I'm not judging him. It's very different from anyone else you've ever seen speak. If you ever watched Jeff Goodlodge. On Tuesday said the worst isn't over for the stock market after a brutal quarter that left the Dow with its worst decline in the first 3 months of a calendar year since its 124-year history. Speaking during a webcast, Double Line Capital founder said that the stock market remains dysfunctional from his perspective, indicating that the market may put in a more enduring low once the March 23rd nadir for stocks is taken out. The Dow nadir is a high point. The Dow Jones Industrial Average 3.175% on March 23rd finished at 18.5, its lowest close since November 2016, which left it with a pullback of more than 37% from its all-time closing high set in February. The S&P 500 SPX 338% on the same day extended 2,000 to its lowest close since December 2016. From that point, the indexes then began to rebound and saw the Dow log its biggest 3-day gain since 1931. That was a bunch of garbage, man. That was literally them buying up as much as they could. You could see it. Is it fair to draw support lines on composite average? I don't know what that means, honestly. All support lines should be drawn on price action, in my opinion. That's just how I trade. I mean, I don't know. Composite averages. These are basically, see these moving averages here? These are basically where the price usually wants to be. This is the 21-day moving average, the white. The 50 is the red. This is 80. This is 100, and this is 200. This is what these are doing, but they're logarithmic, right? They're like moving with the price, right? They change as the price changes. Frank, on composite averages. Yeah, I mean, I can only see that. Like, see, this is how we're looking at this. Is these are all candles. I can do 5-minute candles. Okay. Each candle is 5 minutes, and you can really track an asset if you do like a 5-minute candle, right? So each of these candles is 5 minutes, and you can see we're in a falling wedge on the 5-minute. It's interesting to see. I usually don't look at stuff like this. This is V-chain. Interesting though. But then here you have 1 hour, and really the daily is the strongest because a lot happens during the day, like in all these 30 minutes and 1 hour, but the daily really just tells you what happened at the end of that day, right? So bear flags, though, is what I see. That's a bear flag. So is what it is. Also a rising wedge. There's both. But it did break above its moving average. I like V-chain. I'm looking for a place to accumulate. Probably was down here, though, on this low. We do have a higher highs, kind of starting a new trend. Could be something like this now. We could be beginning to dig out. Or like this fall here, we could be beginning to have even more. But it looks kind of similar to this area here. Kind of a fractal. I don't like judge fractals. I just think they're interesting, and they definitely are there. Right, but the Dow is a composite average of many companies. Is it fair to draw support lines? I mean, yeah. I mean, you can draw support lines on any single asset that has price action, right? So if it has price action, like for instance in crypto, we do what's called the total. I think it's called total 2. And the total 2 is all the crypto markets except for Bitcoin, right? Where did I put this total 2 now? So this is all the cryptos. This is very similar to the Dow. This is the Dow of all the little altcoin cryptos. And we play these. Like, look, it had a falling wedge. We said it should break out of the falling wedge. And look, boom, it broke out of the falling wedge. It had support and resistance. Like, look, this line here was resistance up here, so I drew it. Here we came to hit it. We peaked up a little bit, but we didn't make it through. Here's another line of old support. You can see we bounced off of it right here. So, and I draw these lines before. Look, it came up, hit it. Now you have a head and shoulders that played out exactly. This is a complex head and shoulders, but you can see shoulder, head, shoulder. Those are bearish patterns. So that basically shows, even if you were like right here, you would take the length of the head to the shoulder, one of the shoulders there. When if you kind of get in the middle, if it's complex like moving, and then you go to the bottom of a shoulder, and you can see these moves are like almost insane. So yes, you can chart composites for sure. Definitely. There's no reason you can chart anything that's sitting on a chart. If it has indications on a chart, you can chart it up for sure. In my opinion, someone may say I'm wrong. I don't know. Silver just keeps taking this hit on the market, 1389, but you can't get silver for damn near anything like that. This is what's really interesting to me. Go to one of my most trusted dealers here, goldsilver.com, Mike Maloney, and you go and look at silver bars or coins, you're going to be paying $20 an ounce, which I don't, and right now they got nothing left. Just the other day, you could only get 10-ounce bars right now. Look, in 10-ounce bars at $190, so that's $19.10 for 1 ounce. But yet on the market in the stock, so what's happening is there's a discrepancy between, same as gold, $15.75 an ounce. But if you want to buy an ounce of gold right now, you're gonna pay way more. You're gonna pay damn near, $16.69. So it dropped a little bit, thank goodness, because it was up really high. This would be a good time, I would say, to get gold because the discrepancy is falling a little bit. It was up at like $200, so like it was at 16 and you had to pay 18. Now it's like it's still $100 though, which I haven't seen. Usually you pay 20, $30 maybe, depending if that's something you want, but you don't see that. So back to the Dow now, just taking a hit. Yeah, I would get back into SPXU was the plan yesterday, and we were up about 10% on that call. And again, I showed you the hidden bullish divergence. We're coming out of a MACD, the first pink line. This is actually the perfect time to buy right now. Still a really good time to buy. I think for the rest of the week, we're going to have some slumping in the Dow, more death than coronavirus. Things are just going to get a little tougher, a little harder. So this is my call again, is to make another purchase into SPXU. I think right now is the time. It'll definitely rise up at least to its old high of 43, and it probably won't take long. Look how long this took. The 4th of March to get up here, and it was 20 days. 20 days to go from 20 all the way to 43. So to 100% your money in 20 days. So you put 10 racks on that, make 10 racks in 20 more days. That's not bad, right? Again, this isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So don't hold me to everything I say, but this is what I'm thinking of doing. If you think it's a good call, you can take it. Yeah, JNUG just keeps taking a hit. It's so oversold and flatlined here, even with this move up. I'm wondering if the fund itself is just taking a beating, but it's got to recover. In my opinion, it's going to have its day in the sun. I would just lay low in this for a couple months. I think this is just going to eventually make you some money. Right now, it's basically telling you, it's so oversold. No matter how bad it gets, I don't think it can get much lower. So it's really hugging this line of support too. It's got a lot of support here. So I don't know. I'm saying that this could be the buy right now too as well. It's just staying so oversold. You've only seen it this oversold 1, 2 times since 2015. I don't know. To me, that smells opportunity. But hey, what do I know, huh? I'm just a trading guy. Crypto lifer. What's going on? So, Bear UST's back up and running. Not sure why yesterday it was red. It was almost like it was halted. Something was going on with it, but yeah. Yeah, so I made a call on this guy. Just looking at it. And to me, it was in a falling wedge. It was, I guess, in the 4-hour. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the thing. I couldn't get it on Binance anymore. But that's where I got it from, See, like when I put it in recently. It's almost like it got taken off of Binance. Because look, there's no Binance edition. And there was way more information the last time I had this. It's interesting. I got to look into that. ICX. up 7%. I really push this coin. I love ICX, man. I think it's got a lot of potential. Seems to be in this new forming wedge here. Let's see when would be a good time to accumulate it. To the top of the trend line. Could be coming back down to 19 cents. Looks like it could. Resetting on the MACD. The RSI is taking a little bit of a plunge, but it's flagging a bit. I think this will come back down. Maybe get caught by a moving average. So if you were to play this, this would be your buy zone in my opinion. Stop loss somewhere down in here. Buying right in here. You want to maybe see one of these moving averages hold. So the 200 didn't hold. It's coming back down. It might touch this 21 when they hit right here. That may be your first buy. You want to ladder in basically. So if you want 1,000, go $300 buys. When the market stabilizes, everything is cheap. What companies do you like for future long-term plays? I'm really just going hard on crypto and gold. I have seen some new. I've got some info from a few people. One that I'm looking at honestly, and they're basically because I know how these companies perform, and I know a lot about the company itself. So that helps me understand what value I have to it, and I also know how it's being run. But these are two tickers we're gonna look at: is Outfront Media and Lamar Advertising. Okay, I'm gonna add these to the Gus Fund. OUT, Outfront Media. Okay. And also LAMR, Lamar Advertising. Okay. Be curious as to why I'm adding to these. But just recently, they had bottoms. I was actually getting a call at $7. A good friend of mine was like, hey, they're low. They took a big hit in the loss, but they should come back. So they were at 34. Look, they did very similar things. 34 and $7. And they both pumped pretty well. So it's interesting. These were good calls to be had. Up 80% from the low. Pretty dang cool, right? Wow. I mean, now it's come back and reset, but it's still up 50%. Outfront Media. And they were up really high, as you can see. They just, boom, when the market crashed, they crashed with it really hard. They were an advertising firm. They're doing real-time advertising, and they work with different people. But right now they're doing a lot of real-time advertising, real estate investment trusts. See, that's what it is, but it really is, I guess they own all the real estate that this other company uses. They work hand in hand, these two companies. So Outfront Media and Lamar Advertising Co. These are just something that I think are going to bounce back hard because they do remote advertising. They work completely remote, so there's nothing wrong. The company's still going well. I know an employee working there, and everything is working fine there. So it's just interesting to see Outfront Media and Lamar Advertising. Yeah. These are something I would look at and look deeper into. But yeah, they do remote advertising. They run remote. And basically a lot of billboards that you see walking through Times Square, some of them are in real time, basically tracking the person as it comes near and then showing ads that kind of correspond to what they know. So that's like interactive, real-time data advertising. So I think they're really going to just keep innovating and changing, and they're definitely something to look at for sure. Damn. And I definitely got this tip and didn't take it, which now I'm like, wow. This guy wasn't playing around when he dropped that tip in my lap. But here, can't do it all, can't do everything. But that was a grab right there. But who would have known it was going to stop there? I mean, I guess with the stimulus, you figured, okay, something's going to come, JNUG holding this $4 range, I think really it's kind of the bottom. But hey, they did change themselves to 2 times the shares now. It used to be a 3-time leverage. Now you're only getting 2 times the leverage. So it's kind of disheartening. Yeah. Silver keeps taking that hit. A friend of mine got into this GGG up in like the $40 range. Pretty good. He's up over 10% already. Not bad, not bad. Kudos to him. At one point, he was all the way up to 50, up 25%. So that's pretty good. He put a 10 racks. I mean, 2,500 there. Nice little move he made. Will this keep going, though? Or is this just going to be boom? Going to double top it and just boom? We shall see. We shall see. I think we're in for way more blood and pain, though. This range was really tough, this 21,800 range. We needed to hold that range, and we did not. So right here, 21,770, 21,850. Very, very, very strong and important place. And, yeah, I predict if we didn't hold that, we're going to drop. And then our next place of resistance here is 20,000. And we've already fell through it before. So if we don't hold that 18,000, you can see there's going to be a lot more pain in the streets for sure. That's just what's going to happen. That's what is going to happen. All right. Aeon up 5%. WRX token, something I really want to check out a lot. Interesting. Had some huge pumps. It's got almost a similar Bart Simpson move there on the daily. Check it on the 4-hour. The 4-hour, it's interesting. This is an exchange token for the WRX exchange out of India. Once they lifted that crypto ban, this thing exploded. Absolutely exploded. Boom. So what I think it comes back down to this, right? And then it's off to the races. Definitely want to track this. Throw up an idea. I put up ideas. So even if I didn't have the internet, I would be doing this alone. Just doing this exactly every day just to get my mind right. So there it is. So potential gains. If we were to buy here, 57% coming out of this. Straighten this up. Now it could bounce back off this trend line here. That'll put it up 67%. When the market stabilizes, everything is cheap. What companies do you like future long-term plays? Yeah, I'm really just trying to get gold and Bitcoin. I'm hoping they offset, like I think. And I'm not really playing then I'm going to buy real estate. I'm going to buy real estate cheap and get some actual cash flow. And then with that cash flow, I'll think of reallocating into different companies. But right now, I just don't trust the equities market. I don't trust stocks that you don't own. Like, I want to own it. Like Bitcoin, I own it. You know, gold, I own it. I want to own something that I have in the market. I don't want to just be like, you know, willy-nilly hoping that my money is in a good place. I don't know. I'm skeptical. Skeptical of these guys. You know, they're bailing themselves out yet again. I don't see a lot of honesty going on here. So I don't know, you know, why it's wrong for me to be skeptical. I think I should be skeptical. So I'm also drawing this other shape inside of this shape here. Trying to keep it cool. Something like this, I could use the first two. It's also kind of a mini bull flag that's really extending itself a little long. And this is the length of the pole. From here to here. If we put it up, it's about the same, going up to 14.5 and so on. So, yeah, I mean, 10 cents to 14 cents. That's an excellent move of 50, but a little under 50%, so 40%. So, hey, so what could be happening for WRX token? We'll also look at it on a Fibonacci and see it was on its low point kind of here. Did break it again, but yeah, it came all the way past the 100% basically. Moved back up, tipped off this level again, kind of sitting on this pocket. Wow, so it's moving against this 706 level. It needs to get to the 618. So we'll have some trouble here. You can see it coincides right with this bounce too, which is interesting. The 618 bounce. There we got the bounce. Interesting. Here we're having resistance. Here we hit it. Kind of hit it again. So that would be another place at 12. Might want to take profits at 12, a little bit off the table, just or it'd be a place where you think it will stall. So that's interesting to see. Confluence there. But yeah, WRX token. Just put it on your radar. Something to watch because it's an exchange token. Ethereum Classic is doing something very similar. Heavy retracement. Now it's beginning to kind of dig its way out. We have a low, a higher high, higher low. Interesting. Just something to put on your radar. I think it's worth taking a gander at. And XRP, man, holding its 17% gain there. You can see we have an upside down head and shoulders, which is a bullish pattern, right? So even in the short term, if it plays out of this pattern that we see, this is the head here. We go to the shoulder. Puts us back up at 19.2 cents. So in the short term, I see this kind of regaining its beefy points up here, at least until this trend line in the middle. Then we might start kind of channeling in here as well. Technically, buy zone is 13 to 16. If you can get XRP in this little box here, I think you're doing yourself a huge favor. Can't complain about that. So just something I see. You know, we made big moves up. We've made these moves up before. So I think we will get back to the top of this trend line. And for the long term, if we get to the daily, I see XRP with 269% gains, which is just got to break out of this falling wedge, which is 68% chance. It's going to break out up to 47 cents, which will give you 269% gains on your money. So people ask me about the equities market. I think that it's more profitable to play crypto, but that's just what I'm thinking. But overall, pretty red day for crypto. Bitcoin taking a hit. Most big currencies down, right? When the bear is up 10% and Bitcoin's down 62. But I've been calling for Bitcoin to come down back to the trend line here, which is about 4,800. So we've been calling for Bitcoin to come back to 4,800. That's where I would like to load up on another Bitcoin. And, you know, if I get lucky, sell it back into the sixes, bounce back into 58, get in again, sell it into the sevens, and so on and so forth if I could be so lucky. So you see it broke. It's holding this moving average here. This could save it, actually. 59 low there, pop back up. There's a chance that we, you know, establish a new low, but I think we're going to come back down here to this trend line. That's just what I think is going to happen. In confluence with this other trend line too. We're just going to bounce here. Back at 4,800. See what they're saying here. Bitcoin's circulating supply reveals an incomplete picture. It's a well-known fact that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. The hard cap for cryptocurrency plays out every 4 years when the reward halving manifests. You know, the halving's coming up in basically 40 days. 40 days Bitcoin will halve, altering its supply schedule by half, thereby controlling inflation and avoiding artificial manipulation. But with the supply steady, how many Bitcoins have already been mined, and does it tell the complete picture? The answer to the first question is simple. Just over 18.2 million Bitcoins have been mined, over 80% of the total supply, with 2.7 million in reserve. Around 144 blocks, resulting in 12.5 Bitcoins per block, or 1,800 Bitcoins are mined every day. A figure that will soon drop by half come May. That's what the halving is. the actual rewards will get cut in half. There'll be 6.25 Bitcoins per block, and that will only make 900 Bitcoin a day. Now, moving on to the second question, does it tell the complete picture? Well, the first notion suggests that 18.29 million Bitcoins are already mined. It does not mean they are active and in circulation. According to Unchained Capital, April 1st, 2020, the HODL wave, which looks at unspent output for Bitcoin, the UTXO, on average banned specifically the 2 to 3 year scale dropped below 15%, with the same at 14.98%. At press, this means that roughly 15% of all Bitcoin ever mined has been sitting idle for 2 to 3 years. That 15% amounts for 2.7 million Bitcoins. If priced at price time of the 6,300 total volume, it will be $17 billion. The last time the 2-3 HODL wave age band represented 15 of available was November 2015, when Bitcoin was $345. Wow. Interesting. Looking further at more short-term age scales, unmoved Bitcoin under between 18 to 24 months was at 5.3%. Between 12 to 18 months was at 10%. And between 6 to... Yeah, I mean, I don't move any of... Most people don't. I mean, you know, CoinShare CEO Ryan Radloff in a blog spot had laid out the Bitcoin by amount and supply held in large exchanges. Based on his assessment, Coinbase was the biggest hodler of 856,000 Bitcoin in supply, when Bitcoin sold at 5,000, with other exchanges like Binance, Bittrex, Bitstamp, Huobi, and BitMEX in the mix. The total Bitcoin held by exchanges and other intermediaries, which included storage like Grayscale Insurance Fund, was at 16.6%. Wow, they hold a lot of the supply. That's very interesting. So what I said about food is, why do you think food is the time to buy right now? Because I think the prices of food are going to go up exponentially. I think you're going to see when they give this huge stimulus out to people, when everyone gets a quote unquote check, right? And it really comes the way they saying it's going to come. I believe that we're going to see a rise in food prices like no one has ever realized. I think you're going to see, you know, if bread is $5 to $6, I think you're going to go up to $8, $9. I think you're going to see it. Whatever they boost the supply by, if they're going to double the supply, triple the supply, I think you're going to see that in the food price just come right out. Also, look when everyone knows everyone else has money. You know, if you're in a place where people have more money, what do? You charge a little more, right? And I know it's going to be hard times, quote unquote, and all this other nonsense, but it's not going to stop the average person from taking advantage, you know? And also, they don't know when they're going to be able to sell products again. Things might be scarce. People say, oh, you can only buy, like, you know, even at Costco's 2 days ago, they only let me take 1 bag of sugar. I wanted to get 2 bags of sugar, and they weren't huge, giant bags. They were like, you know, the economy size bags, but they weren't gigantic. They weren't like those 20-pound giant bags. So just something to think about. Like, will the shortage of food and the movement of food create a higher price? And what are you going to do when they do that to you? Because you have to eat it no matter what. So this is something that could really happen. Something you have to think about. So I would be buying food now with my money, because I can get, right now, before the dollar loses more and more value, I buy the food I can now to save money. So it's not even about a shortage. I don't think there'll be a shortage, so to speak. There may be certain items that will be limited, but what I am saying is that you're going to pay more for it. They're going to pay more for it. In like 1 to 2 months from now, you're going to see more, right? So just something to think about. Let's look at the Dow one more time. 21.2. Back down here. Dow slides by more than 600 points as Trump warning on coronavirus puts investors on edge. Stocks fall Wednesday after the U.S. market logged its worst quarterly performance since 2008. President Trump warned a very, very painful 2 weeks. American Express and Boeing shares contribute to the Dow's point loss. Why is American Express losing money? Interesting. The Dow just booked the worst. So I guess no one's traveling, right? The Dow booked the worst first quarter in 124 years. Here's how the stock market tends to perform after brutal quarters. There's no way to know how bad this will get, but it may be time to nibble at bargain prices. Possibly. Yeah, nibble, right? Like, you could begin to buy, ladder buy in, you know. Outspoken Wall Street Bond Wiz says the stock market is acting dysfunctional and may hit rock bottom. I think we're going to go down $10,000 Dow, and that's because it's a Fibonacci retracement, and I just think that's what's going to happen. See, I still have my work sitting here, and we're going to get to the 618, which is 15, and we break it, get to the 786 around 11,000. So I have it ending right here at 10,129. For whatever reason, I decided to end it there. Is it prophetic? We will see. We will see. Seemed to be a point of interest here. If we bounced off of it, it was a little resistance. So 10,196 is what I'm calling for the Dow. JNUG just hovering at this $4 range. Not loving it. Not loving it. Looking at this BEX stock on the Toronto Stock Exchange. See, betting. $0.08. Something I'm looking at. It's in precious metals. A lot of palladium. Clean air metal transaction. They just did something with so you just want to bring them up. Thunder Bay, Ontario. Thunder Bay. Benton Resources TXBX is pleased to announce that it has acquired 100% interest in a project covering the Haley Intrusive Complex in northwestern Ontario by staking 4 multi-cell mining claims totaling 1,462 hectares. The new claims cover historical drill holes and geological mapping, which identify mid-continent rift-style intrusive complex as is located approximately 30 kilometers northeast of TBN and Escape Lake. The Haley intrusion is a zone picture intrusion of periodite olivine gabbro, which are 2 lithogies analogous with PGE deposits associated with MCR, including high-grade TBN and Escape Lake deposits, which Benton has optioned to Regency Gold Corp. Regency is now being led by mining executives Abraham Dorr, CEO, and Jim Gallagher, executive chairman, the latter being the former CEO of North American Palladium, which recently sold to Impala Platinum for $1 billion Canadian. Upon trading resumption, Benton will hold 24.6 million shares of Regency. Regency has announced it will change its name to Clean Air Metals Inc. and will trade under the symbol TCXV Air upon TSX approval. Yeah, so this is on my radar right now. Something just to look at up on the TSX. You can buy it probably with the BEXF, something like XFFF or TF or something like that. You'll find it on the pink sheets. But this is something to look at. Making some gains here, 5 to 8 cents in the last week alone, 2 weeks. So damn near 70% gains coming already for this. So just something to look at. All right, guys. Thank you guys thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. And remember, you know what? If you came to my channel, you're already doing the right thing.